Metroplus team have been on the run the whole week, sourcing the best stories that we Chennaiites can relate to. Welcome to another episode of engaging conversations with interesting people who make Chennai. This week, the Metroplus team drove all the way to Puducherry to meet an interesting personality who set out in the 70s with a vision to be different. Now, almost 3 decades later, Dilip Kapur still believes in being different. Born in Delhi and raised in the Aurobindo Ashram, Puducherry, leather craft was just an odd job which Dilip Kapur had to do to keep himself going during his PhD years at the Denver University, Colorado.
I came back from America in 1978. I just finished my PhD in international affairs. I came back to Oroville to live in Oroville, and there I was. I had nothing much to do, nothing to do with international affairs, and all I had was a hobby, which was to work with leather. One person and myself, we started making on the rooftop of my house, and we started like that. We made 1 bag a day, and one of my German friends modeled it. She was quite a beautiful lady. She modeled it for someone, and that man was so impressed, he gave us an order for 1,400 bags when all we could make was 1 bag a day. So that's how the story of Hidesign started.
Dilip Kapur sat down with an artisan and literally hammered out his first leather bag. He started off in 1978 with 25,000 rupees, which he used to buy a sewing machine, some leather and the services of a worker. Today, however, Hidesign has grown to become a company with a 200 crore turnover and about 3,000 employees worldwide.
So here we were. We had started with a small place with just 2 workers on top of my roof, and we were slowly building more and more and more. We had finally ended up with 5 houses, and I was running around on a motorcycle all day long trying to get there. Decided that finally we had to have our own factory where I could bring everybody together and we could all concentrate and work. But then we ran into a problem that the values we had as a brand were not in sync with the values of the factories that people were proposing to us. You know, we had really strong values that we like natural things, we like things that are ecological, we use only vegetable tan leathers. And all these factories that people were proposing had asbestos roofs, and they were not cool, they were not green. So we ended up having to design our own factory. And I think that was one of the smartest things I did, because finally we ended up with a factory that we loved. It was full of green gardens and ponds and waterfalls and bricks that we made with the earth. You know, they're right there. We took the earth out and made bricks out of it. So we ended up with a factory that really reflected what the brand believed in. You know, natural, being ecological. You know, these were values that were important to us, and they came through in the factory.
Success didn't come easy for Dilip Kapur. He had to face several hurdles along the way.
The problems you faced all through the times, all through these years, were really basically problems due to my ignorance. I'd never taken a course in business, didn't know anything about it. You know, I'd grown up in the ashram. So the first thing that happened is the first 10 years of my life, I didn't know how to look at my profit and loss account. And twice I got totally robbed. I mean, absolutely robbed, cleaned out by my accountant. I had no idea what was going on. Now, the other problems that now that I know how to look at my P&L account, now that I know a little bit, is really operational issues. As you start having, you know, we have about 60 stores in India, and we've got stores across the world now. Is operational things like, how do you make sure that you've got the right bags in the right place? And these are things that you know, you have to learn slowly. You learn from people, you learn from others who can teach you. And it's been a slow learning curve because I didn't really learn that in college.
Whether it is his upbringing or an inherent entrepreneurial trait, Dilip Kapur is not one to shy away from challenges and new opportunities.
I think my biggest weakness would be that I get bored easily, that I keep moving from one thing to the other. And in a way, that's also strength, because that means I do lots of different things. I keep moving on. I'm not scared to do different things. And you see that in the way Hidesign works. I mean, we started off with, you know, making a few bags, and now here we are with hotels and restaurants and, you know, all kinds of different things. And that, in a way, that's a strength for Hidesign, because people relate to us more as a lifestyle, not just thinking of us as a bag company.
For Dilip Kapur, coming back to Puducherry after his studies was more of a personal choice to lead a spiritual life at the Auroville ashram. But what happened was something totally unexpected.
Actually came back to India to be part of Auroville, which was to create a new world, create a better world, and a township which was spiritual and something very idealistic. Hidesign was actually just a hobby. It wasn't really the reason why I was living here. And over time, slowly, that small thing, the small hobby kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and took more and more of my time. And I would say now it's 80% of what I do and what I am is really Hidesign. And that original purpose of which I came back, I do less and less. I still teach in the school, I still do some things, but it's really maybe 20% of my time.
Now in his mid-50s, this quiet and assured man lets his bags do most of the talking. Dilip Kapur isn't being over-ambitious or biting off more than he can chew. He's just following his heart. Time for a break, but when we come back, get transported into the rhythm of an era gone by.